Hi, my name is Victoria Rivera and welcome to Mental Health Wellness Wednesday. I am a wellness psychotherapist in New York City and we have actually been on a journey since January looking at the goals that we have for 2019 and trying to understand what we can do to help ourselves achieve them and to continue the motivation and to continue our willpower with addressing our goals for the year. So last week and actually the past couple of weeks, we've been talking about negative core beliefs and how those negative core beliefs affect our ability to achieve our goals. And so what I wanted to share with you today actually is a step further with that is, so we have a negative core belief, right? And we talked about the top 3 last week, which was, feeling damaged, feeling unlovable, not feeling worthy. But there's so many other ones, and you can go on my feed and you can see the list of just a few of them and to see if those are maybe some of the core beliefs that you have. So imagine we have this core belief about ourselves. Now, oftentimes we may not be thinking about it consciously, but we are having thoughts. And some of those thoughts are what we call automatic negative thoughts that are a result from the core belief that we have about ourselves. So for example, if you have a core belief that you're not worthy, you are probably going to have thoughts on some level, and they're automatic negative thoughts that, oh, if you're not worthy, well, then I can't do this, or I'm going to fail, or I might as well not even try because it's not even going to work out for me because, it doesn't work out for me. I'm not worth anything. So you might notice that you have these automatic negative thoughts, but you might not be aware of it. So the statistic is that we have like 90,000 thoughts a day. Maybe it's more, maybe it's a little bit less. But anyways, if we have all of these thoughts, so how do you find those automatic negative thoughts with all those different thoughts that we have? Well, luckily, a lot of the thoughts that we have very similar thoughts every day. I think the statistic, again, is like 90% of our thoughts are the same thoughts that we thought the day before. So there are a couple of different ways that are very helpful to understand if you are having these autonomic negative thoughts that are stemming from the core belief about yourself. So one way is self-awareness, and we've always talked about self-awareness and how important it is. How can you build self-awareness? Well, one, besides going to therapy, which I'm always an advocate for, you can talk to somebody who you love and who really cares for you, who you feel like you can be vulnerable with, and you can just ask them, what are some of the things that I do and say that you notice about myself that may be negative and may not be serving me in a positive way. That's one way. Another way, so building self-awareness is one. So the other way is actually journaling. So sitting with yourself in the morning or in the evening or anytime during the day and just writing down some of the thoughts that you're having in your mind. Now, sometimes that's really difficult. So what you could do is try to look at your behavior. So if you have a behavior, for example, you're in the car and some guy kind of cuts you off and you get really angry and upset. You could say, okay, I got angry and upset at this guy cutting me off. Well, what was the automatic negative thought or the thoughts that I had about that? That might be easier. Thinking about, well, I thought this guy was a jerk, that he's trying to play me and make me be a fool. All right, so what's the automatic negative thought that, oh, that people will take advantage of me, or they think I'm a fool, or they don't respect me. So it's really kind of getting to whatever the behavior is and then thinking about what the actual thought or the feeling that is coming up from that, and then going back to the belief. So journaling is a really great way of doing that, because you can say, these are the things that happened, this is how I felt, these are the thoughts that I had, this might be related to this core belief that I'm not good enough. So that's another way. And the third way is one of my favorites, and I know we talk about this all the time, but it's meditation. And I know that you're gonna be like, oh my God, I can't meditate, my mind is always crazy, I am thinking a million things at once. How am I gonna figure out whether or not I'm having automatic negative thoughts when I have so many different thoughts in my head and I can't sit down to even meditate? I know it's hard. It's one of the most difficult things to do, especially now because there's so many distractions, so many things that are affecting us. But if you could take 5 minutes in the morning, and I had a whole series last year on meditating and how it could help you. So please refer back to that. If you don't have that, I will be happy to send you the videos, or I can just talk to you a little bit more about it personally. So please feel free to comment or to direct message me. Anyways, meditation is one of the simplest things to do, but it's hard. It's one of the hardest things to do, because what you're doing is you're telling your mind, all right, you need to simmer down and you need to just sit, and you need to just be able to sit with yourself and to not allow your mind to get hooked on any of the thoughts or the emotions or the sensations that want to take you away from the present moment. And I suggest doing this very short, like if you could do it for 1 minute. There's tons of apps, and Insight Timer is one of my favorites, and you could do it for 1 minute, 2 minutes. And it's really about just kind of connecting to yourself physically. Usually I use breath as the anchor, and then just noticing the thoughts that you're having and kind of letting them float by, and then going back to your breath, which I know is not the easiest thing again, but it's a practice. And anytime we practice something, just like when we go to the gym, you can't just do one push-up and feel like you're going to, like have muscles. What you need to do is you need to do several push-ups, and you need to go every day or every other day or whatever it is, and that's really helpful in terms of being able to understand it as an analogy what meditation is and how it could be helpful. So those are the 3 things I suggest in terms of understanding automatic negative thoughts. Next week, what we'll talk about is we'll go a little bit further into some cognitive behavioral therapy and how that can help in terms of achieving your goals for 2019. All right, take care. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will see you next week.